For she is the first oppressed of the Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam. She is the one who they say that the Prophet said, what? Oh my daughter, bad'atul minni. You are a part of me. She is a part of Risalat. She is a part of Imama. She is the gap between Nabuwa and Imama. Yet the door that she had of her residence, the door of her house, angels would stop. Angels would seek permission before entering. Why? Because of the holy personality that she was, of the greatness in the eyes of Allah that she is. Yet the Muslims do what? A few days, Rasulullah has left this world. They come towards the house of Zahra salamullahi alayha. They say, send Ali to the mosque. They give the oath of allegiance to the man who is now the successor of the Holy Prophet. She says, my husband will not come out. Why? Because he is compiling the Quran. The Quran in the form of a book. Time of the Prophet, scattered pages. Amir al-Mu'mineen was the first person to compile the Holy Quran. So he said what? This man, he says, if Ali does not come out and go towards the mosque, we will burn this house down. The first thing she says, you will burn this house whilst I am inside? Whilst the grandchildren of the Prophet Hassan and Hussein are inside? He says, yes, by Allah, we will burn this house down. So what did she do? She's standing by the door. The books of the narrations mention that he got fire and he began to ignite that fire to the extent that the door began to ablaze. Smoke started entering into the house of Zahra, so she came towards the door to inquire as to what was going on, and the narrations mention at that moment while she was standing by the door, this mal'oon kicks the door with so much ferocity that the holy daughter of the Prophet was stuck between the wall and the door, and the narrations mention there was a nail in the door that was unhinged. That nail went into the ribs of Zahra to the extent that she fell down onto the ground. She says, Ya Fidda, come and aid me. Oh Fidda, my Muhsin has been shaheed. At that moment, the door fell on top of the holy lady, and the Sahaba of the Prophet began running inside the house, trampling upon the daughter of the Prophet. They enter into the house. At that moment, Amir al-Mu'mineen comes forward. A lot of people ask us, why did Imam Ali not defend his wife? Why did Imam Ali not do something for his wife? We say, yes, he did. Kitab Sulaim bin Qais al-Hilali, our most earliest hadith literature book, authenticated by 4 Ma'soomeen. This book has this entire story in detail. Read it online, it's in English. It says that when Amir al-Mu'mineen came into the room, he saw his wife on the floor. He came towards that person that kicked the door. The narrations mention Amir al-Mu'mineen broke his nose, then picked him up from the collar and threw him onto the ground, then put his knee on his chest. And he says, O son of Suhaq, if the book of Allah had not been in front of me, and had I not had a covenant with Rasulullah to not cause bloodshed after his death, you would not have dared enter my house, and I would have killed you. She was unable to walk. She was unable to move. She was injured. Her ribs had been broken. These injuries then led to her martyrdom. And final words on her deathbed, she would say, Ya Ali, atfunni laylan idha na'batul ayun fahaj'atil absar. Oh Ali, bury me in the middle of the night. Do not let those who angered me participate in my funeral. As her soul was departing her body, the narrations mention Imam al-Hassan came forward, Zainab came forward, Kulthum came forward, but Aba Abdullah waited by the door. He didn't come inside. So Amir al-Mu'mineen says, Oh Hussein, are you not going to bid your mother farewell? He says, what? He says, no, I will not come until my mother calls me herself. At that moment, they say the Zahra said, oh my Hussein, come towards me. He couldn't hold it any longer. Aba Abdullah ran inside. He began hugging his mother. He began crying out loud to the extent that Jibreel would then descend upon the earth and he would say, Ya Ali, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, remove Hussein from the chest of a Zahra. Why? He says, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said the angels cannot bear to see this sight of Hussein hugging his mother and crying. The angels cannot bear to see this. So Amir al-Mu'mineen removes al-Hussein from his mother. We say, oh Allah, if the angels could not bear to see Hussein on the chest of his mother, then how is it on the day of Ashura the angels were able to see shimmer on the chest of Aba Abdullah? How did they even bear to see that sight?